We are at this absolutely exquisite house in Zimbali, and we're sitting here today with the amazing architect who designed it, Vinchenzo Sagnelli. What a piece of paradise. Tell us a little bit about this house and how you designed it.
It's quite a long story, but I won't go there because basically Sam and Sissy chose a site on this estate and we played with something on it and it really started to look good. And then Sam gave me a call one day and he said, "Chen, there's something unique happening." I said, "What's that?" He says, "I found a front row site." So we came down here and looked at the site, and I mean, it's just absolutely magnificent. It's really wider than any other site. It's got a green space on that side, and it's got magnificent views of Durban right through to Belita, especially from the top level. So basically you got given this beautiful palette that you couldn't go wrong on. And as an architect on the estate for the past 25 years, you dream about a site like this. And Sam also made it easy for me because he told me one thing. He said, "Chen, no matter where the bedrooms or rooms or lounges or whatever we put on the site, I want everyone to see the ocean." So that became quite a starting point challenge. If you get round to walking around the house, even to the luxury bar area in the back, it still looks through the veranda over the ocean. So no matter where you are, that is a must. And then I think the big thing too, when you get front row sites, is wind and sun are huge. And as you know, even today, there's quite a wind blowing. You've got the rain wind from the south and you've got the warm wind from the north. And
so you've got to take that all into consideration.
Account. So we've created courtyards where no matter what the wind blows, you're totally protected and you're still getting views. So it's been a game of playing with all the elements, and then mostly and best of all is taking the client's dream and brief and transforming it. It's a 3-leveled home. The lower levels got some guest suites and they look over the bush, and I did tell Sam in the beginning, well, those suites will be the only ones that don't get view, but lo and behold, there seems to be a value there is a value in the trees here, and you see the ocean and the whole story. So I think it's a matter of playing with everything that we've had and also taking what we have and just transforming it into a unique piece of architecture.
Well, it is. It's absolutely magnificent, and it's a blessing to be even sitting here in this gorgeous home. And you're very talented with your work that you've done. It's outstanding. Congratulations on this. And I know you work together with the families that you develop and you build through.
Well, you kind of become a family extension.
I'm sure.
Because you get to know exactly how each person does what they do. Your brief becomes so specific, and it helps your design because you go through each space and you know all the things that the client and has briefed you on, the different sons and daughters.
Yes, they all have their input.
Exactly, and I think that made it so much easier.
And do you find when you're building for a client, and particularly this client, a lot of things change as you're going along?
Everything changes. I think as we went through different spaces, things happened, and I would find that the views are a lot better, and we decided to put more windows on that side. You can visualize so much, but then as you start to walk the site, changes happen.
Reality.
And then you end up going back to the review committee of Ricky, and the guys are saying, "You won't believe it, but we found a new spot where the maid suite could fit, and it's way better." So it becomes an engagement process with the client, with the team here. You've got an amazing team on the estate that upholds a huge standard. So you're not on your own. You've got your own vision, but you've got a client and you've got a great team that makes having an adventure here unique.
Oh, and that's wonderful. Yes,
pretty much is.
Just a stunning estate, and what a location.
Exactly, and I think people dream about it. There are actually only a few front row sites. I always call them like diamonds on a necklace.
Yes.
And they happen to have secured one of the best diamonds on the necklace.
Oh. Well, you've done an incredible job here, really, and thank you for being with us here today to chat about the house and a little bit more about what you do. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
We are here today with Ricky, the Building and Infrastructure Management of Zimbali. Ricky, thank you for being here with us today. Ricky, briefly describe the building and establishment of Zimbali.
We're taking a journey down to 1994 when Tonga Hewlett owns these greenfield piece of land, a total of 456 hectares in total. of coastal forest, unique coastal forest in a subtropical environment. And basically we pegged Zimbali out of the success of Mount Edgecombe, was the first gated estate. And the success out of Mount Edgecombe taught us to basically engage with the environment in terms of designing as a code for the estate itself. And the code of Zimbali is extremely unique and is very, very, very sympathetic towards its environment itself. So hence the architectural code was born in it was 2 years in the making, from 1994 to 1996. Yeah. And we do evolve as we go along, but yeah, it was set in 1996.
Wow, it's been a long time.
Yes, 25 years later.
So tell us a little bit more about the code and what features are all incorporated into the code of design for Zimbali.
The architectural code encompasses landscaping as well, and every plan or every house that is planned is very unique to its setting in terms of the landscaping that surrounds it. We have design elements that are natural. Example, you'll see that although every house is designed in a different manner, but we have strong unifying elements like clay roof tiles. Every single house on this estate has got clay terracotta roof tiles, and that's your unifying element. And why, you may ask yourself, why clay, right? It's quite interesting how we came up with this concept. Clay is a natural element. It's got open pores. So the intention of having open pores is to attract algae from the air, right? So when viewed from above, algae turns black and it blends with the forest. So you don't see.
That is interesting. And with the trends that are worldwide, naturally, with architecture, how do you always keep abreast of keeping the architectural style stunning here?
What we do is that whenever there are trends that forces the architecture in Zimbali, Chen sits on the Architectural Review Committee as well. We amend the code to keep up with sustainability, modern trends. We basically amend the architectural code to keep up with the current set.
Okay. And do you take trends from overseas, or is it just something within Zimbali or this area?
Let's ask yourself, take a step back, right? And the architecture of Zimbali was inspired out of tropical architecture, where places like Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Bali, we get our inspiration from there, right? Where when you have heavy rains, you have a high level of humidity, and Durban has the same, right? So what do you want to do? You want to open up your windows, but you don't want to get wet. That's why you'll see that every single house in Zimbali has a deep veranda where you can bring the inside on the outside and relate to the environment itself. So basically, there are architectural tricks that we use in order to basically design the houses to its environment, always keeping the environment in itself.
And what is the size of most of the homes that are built in Zimbali?
I very, very rarely find a home that comes to me now that's under 450 square meters. Yeah, it's minimum, yeah. And I think the reason for that is because of the price of the land. People want to maximize on their build. I mean, if you're buying a land for a property like this is minimum 10 million, right? If the vacant land is 10 million, you definitely don't want to put up a house that's 10 million. You want to put something that's much more than that. So you want to capitalize on the built environment.
Well, I think you've done an incredible job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
If I drive around Zimbali, it's just beautiful. The uniformity and just everything. The way it moves with nature and lives within nature. I think that you have definitely done a fantastic job here.
Thank you. I think we measure our success as the Architectural Review Committee is that when we drive past on the streetscape, the lesser we see of the house, the more successful we are, because that house has embodied nature. That is basically the success of our measures.
Oh, well, you've definitely encompassed that. It's just absolutely beautiful. And thank you for your time today. It's been interesting getting to know a little bit about the architectural design and chatting to Vincenzo about this beautiful home, how he's made it so fantastic. So thank you for your time.
It's an absolute pleasure. Sure. Thank you.